All right, guys, we're back. Fortunately, I got my wonderful wife with me this evening, but we're still going straight to the thumbnail. 10 keys to a healthy, successful relationship going into marriage. People who are dating for marriage. Okay, gonna give you 10 keys, guys. What you got, babe?
You want me to start with number one?
Yeah.
My number one key is going to say, or I'm going to say, is God. You need Him at the foundation. And when I say God, because I know everybody's beliefs are not my beliefs, wherever your higher power is, whoever you're going into that relationship with, talking about going into a marriage, you want the same beliefs. And, for me, that's my number one.
So you saying, just to elaborate a little bit, no conflict on whom we shall serve.
Absolutely.
Okay. I'm with that. I think that's a major key.
Yeah, I think you need that for the foundation. You need the same.
Pun intended. Yeah, I think that's a major key. My number one, which would be our number two, is purpose. Each party should have purpose going into a relationship, going into dating, dating for marriage, dating to be in a long-term relationship. However you're looking at it, I think each party should have purpose. Like, just purpose. What is a wife? What is a husband? What is a good man in a relationship? What is a good woman in a relationship?
Before I go into my number two, so when you say purpose, like, are you saying they should discuss what purpose look like for them, or they should just be working on their own purposes? You know what I'm saying? Purpose in life,
yeah,
and then making it bring together to help each other. Like, I just wanted to clarify what purpose.
Each individual should have their own individual purpose on the freight train line up to meeting each other. Before the crash.
I agree.
Yeah,
okay, I like that.
So you need your purpose on your own.
Okay.
And so what I'm saying is, for a lady, she need to learn what the purpose of a lady is, the purpose of a woman, the purpose of a mother, the purpose of a wife. Now she can want to learn the purpose of an independent woman, or the purpose of a career-driven woman. That's actually not what I'm talking about tonight.
Well. And when you say the definition of a woman or a wife, they need to be agreement upon the two individuals. Because if she thinks a lady is this, and then he thinks that, that's something you want to work out those keys. So again, these are major keys for a successful relationship leading to a marriage, and so they're going to make up the foundation. That sounds like it can be rocky if you don't have the same definition. Just kind of.
I agree. I believe that these are conversations that could be had first date.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
That's all I'm saying.
Or in the first stage of dating.
Yeah.
Okay, so my number two is going to be agree that divorce is not an option. That was definitely something that me and you, when we decided that marriage was going to be the end result, you know what I'm saying? We talked about what marriage looked like for us, and that divorce is not an option. As I mentioned to you before, but just to tell the people, the reason why divorce is not an option with me, and as I mentioned, this is my number two, God was my number one. So my relationship with God going into a marriage was very important to me. You know what I'm saying? As I want to mature and step in that role of a wife. And my God, because I'm a Christian, when I read, told me that divorce wasn't an option. So that's why that's number two. He said, that we're not supposed to divorce. And I can go to scripture.
Elaborate. I was just going to ask you.
I do have one. And I did some studying, and this just, I guess, a little extra. When I was going into marriage, and again, I'm speaking from my own experience, but I do think this is a good point to point out. what I did, because again, I'm a Christian, I wanted to know what did God say a wife was, not only what my definition was. So I went and researched, and one of the scriptures I came across, and I'm not going to read from the King James, I'm going to read from the Good News Bible. I like to, when I study, to look at different interpretations so I can really get what God's trying to say to me and my own understanding. So just to make it, because this is very simple, it is Matthews 19:8. We're going to say 8 and 9. Jesus answered, Moses gave you permission to divorce your wives because you are so hard to teach. But it was not like that at the time of creation. Number 9. I tell you then that any man who divorces his wife for any cause other than unfaithfulness commits adultery if he marries some other woman. Now, what that says to me, and again, you take it, with your relationships, and again, these are just key factors, for what would make a healthy, success relationship. But for me, what God was telling me, and he said for any man that divorce his wife. He didn't say for any woman that divorced her husband because of infidelity or unfaithfulness or anything like that. He didn't say that, because I also read, as I mentioned, I did some research, that he said if I divorced my husband for that, I wouldn't need to remain single, because if I remarry, I'm in adultery. And, if I don't want to, I can reconcile with my husband. So I'm not supposed to divorce him because of unfaithfulness. Not that I'm giving him any type of leeway or anything to do anything, because we respect and love each other. But I'm just talking about my personal relationship with God, the reason why he was number 1 and this is number 2. It told me that no, divorce is not an option. I needed to make sure that he understood that divorce wasn't an option, because we're going to do this one time. Now the world, and again, you apply this however you want. I'm a newlywed. I'll be married next month, a year. So, this is just from my personal beliefs, my understanding, and my experience. From a worldly point of view, you can divorce as many times you want to. You can go into it with the mindset, if it don't work, I'm going to leave, go to the next one. You don't work, it go, but if you want a success, and I think what we need more in our community as our culture is more successful longevity marriages. That's just my opinion. We don't hear, I'd be amazed when I hear people, they've been married 20 years. They've been married 30 years. But when you going in and you see these worldly marriages, and I'm separating worldly from spiritual because I just named what I felt like it was spiritually. Worldly, you can just divorce and do people marrying for money. That's cute or whatever for the world. But if you're supposed to be set aside and not a part of the world, and you know right from wrong. So to apply it how you want, this is what I believe, and you can say, well, don't never say never, and I'm not saying never. What I am saying is, I love God so much that if he's telling me not to do something, I'm really at a point in my life I just want to please him and not do it. That's what I will say. So that's my number 2.
Wow, that was a lot of smoke. From what was, I think that was number 3. What was that?
That was number 2.
Okay, what was that?
Agreed that divorce is not an option.
Man, that was a lot of smoke from one sentence. Okay, hey guys, I hope y'all shucks.
Well, I
enjoyed
agree?
that. I completely agree. I completely 100% agree. Okay, so I have hope, which I think would be
number
that
3.
was your yeah. So that'll be in all, that'll be 5 in all. Believing that good wins over bad, which is essentially kind of the same thing what you just said, but you gotta have some hope, guys. Otherwise, you'll never get. You never jump the broom. Or you'll never be in even a serious committed relationship. So you gotta kind of have some hope, and I think within that means not paying no never mind to what anybody's saying. You know what I'm saying? Tuning out the naysayers, the haters. They came and told you that she had bodies, right? And you know that he came and told you that, that he had, but that his numbers was, no, because women don't care if he got bodies. They came and told you that he beat women. His record is clean. Yeah, so you gotta have hope. You can't worry about what everybody's saying when you initially get into a relationship, I believe. You know. So you gotta have some hope. And you gotta believe that good wins over bad.
I like that. Because I think what I heard was, you have to believe in each other. I like that. I like that hope. My number 3 is communication. And I hate to be long-winded when I describe it.
Talk to him.
When I say communication, we're not just saying talk to each other. It's easy to talk to each other. I can talk at Major all day and he don't hear nothing I say. He can talk to me all day and I don't hear nothing. Or we hear what we want to hear. Communication is more than talking.
Especially women.
Yeah, I agree. It's more than talking. You have to listen. Communication, true communication is when you speak, I listen. And when I speak, you're listening. It's not just talking. You have to have that listening. And understanding comes with communication. If you hear ask, is this what you're saying? What I feel like you're saying, or, we do the I feel. I do. And, I feel like you said this, so we can have an understanding. So true communication is just listening, understanding, and basically just gaining the knowledge of knowing each other, the situation, or, just communication. So that's my number 3, communication.
That was great. I think your number 3 is our total number 6. On to number 7, which is I have ownership, taking responsibility for your good and your bad. Each individual in a relationship and or marriage, I think you have to take ownership and take responsibility. Hey, it was me.
I like that. I like take responsibility. That's a big one. That's a big key factor for a successful relationship. Yeah.
Yeah, most people hate taking responsibility. Yeah, it was because of this, not me. It was because of this material thing. Of my phone was dead. It was this or that or the third. And I live in my mind. There's no excuses. I don't got an excuse. I can't have an excuse. So I think if you trying to, especially starting a relationship, be responsible. Yeah, take ownership.
Well, not only taking ownership in that form, I mean, when you're with someone, when you're saying you're dating or going into a relationship that's going to lead to marriage, that means you're trusting yourself with that significant other. So when they're telling you, and sometimes, we speaking on experience, so sometimes they don't sound good. Sometimes my husband tells me stuff and I don't be wanting to hear. I have an attitude and, but he's not telling me nothing to hurt me. I can honestly trust that. My husband's not going to tell me nothing to hurt me. He's telling me so I can be better, and vice versa. It's a working thing. But yeah, just take the ownership, because when you learn to take the ownership and see it, then it's going to only better you to be better, not only for yourself but for each other. I'll say that. So yeah, I definitely like that one.
That was great. What's number 8?
Okay, number 4. Okay. Make time for you two as a couple. I put that one down because I think it's important. Sometimes, especially with modern day relationships, right? You have usually the woman's work. And when I say modern day, I'm talking about it's not the traditional where the man work in the woman's home as a housewife. I'm talking about usually both parties are working. They have their own aspirations and going on. We live together, and I'm speaking on experience. So me and my husband live together, but we have our business lives. We have busy lives. You work, I be home, the boys, it's just, so it's important that we're not, it's nice to go to bed with my husband every night when we watch something, but it's even more important when we make that time for each other and enjoy each other's company and remember why we like each other. So definitely set that time away apart.
I think that's an excellent point you made, but moreover, modern dating in the modern dating set, just out to dinner, both parties.
Oh, that's good.
So I do feel that was a great point you made, because both parties should put the phone down. Or let's say, let's go on a date, no phones. Let's turn our phones off. When I pull up in my car and I see you in your car and I get out and we get out, let's get out, no phones.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Let's go on the movies, no phones, or whatever young people do now on dates.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good, babe. Because you want to get to know that person.
Well, I mean, I don't want you to be I want your attention. You know what I'm saying? If I'm talking to you and then you doing this right here, I'm gonna think you tuning me out, and I'm not gonna like you. If you say what you say, if you hit me with the what you say one time, I'm leaving and I'm not paying the bill.
And you want a man who wants your attention. You want a man that wants to know you and be with you. So that's not a bad thing. So yeah, make time. We talk about it about men all the time. Men make time for what they want to make time for. Women do too.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a good one.
So okay, all right, moving on to number 9. My number 9 is man, it's unfortunate that we only get 10. My number 9 is forgiveness. Learning to forgive early in a relationship, and I'm not talking about forgive her for laying up with Roy. I don't mean that. I ain't talking about forgive him early in a relationship for laying up with Sally Sue. I'm just I'm actually talking about healing from things that you don't deserve. Like things that you already went through before you came into a relationship.
That's good, baby.
Yeah, I think you need to heal from a lot of things before you go into a relationship, because 9 times out of 10 you've been scarred. People trying to be in relationships, they've been scarred going into the next one. So don't hold that account, against the next person, male or woman. Forgive yourself, forgive the person that hurt you the first time, and just keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? And forgive your new partner. You know what I'm saying? When they do something bad, or they don't pick up the phone on time, or they don't text back quick, because everybody like quick text back now.
Right.
But quick text back can't happen all the time if your partner is a businessman or a businesswoman, or So be forgiving, be long-suffering in your relationship. That's my number 9.
Okay, so number 10 is going to be, which is, the last one, is going to be understand that it is okay to disagree. I think anyone that's been married for many years or a short time, it doesn't matter. Everyone would admit that there are going to be disagreements. You're not going to agree about everything. It's not going to be a perfect harmony where you're in like, oh, yes, and no, it's not. You're going to disagree, and it's okay. Because guess what I have learned within this year is that when we disagree, we learn to, I learn more about him. He learns more about me. It's almost like the phrase iron sharpening iron. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, so we disagree and he was right. He just sharpening me. You know what I'm saying? So, and it's going to be okay. Now, I'm not saying, if you're in a relationship and you disagree and it's a little toxic where it's, somebody putting hands on you or this and that because they don't like the fact that
or if verbal abuse go too far. I'm sorry, people don't bring that up enough. I don't need you to bring my energy down with verbal abuse all the time.
That's good.
And that's worse than getting hit.
Yes. So definitely know it's okay, but know your limits when it's toxic. So we have given you the 10 keys, right? But before we end, because it was something you said about the forgiveness.
Hold on, just a second.
Okay.
I wanted to give everybody the 5 C's. This right here, you can get this right here. Probably the second date. You can figure this out. Chemistry, commonality. What do we got in common? Everybody already know what chemistry is. You know what I'm saying? Do we vibe? Do I like holding her hand? You know what I'm saying? Is her texture right? It's chemistry. Commonality. You know what I'm saying? Do we got common ground? Do we got enough in common? Commitment. You can learn about his commitment. You can learn about his commitment level fairly easy. Constructive conflict and courtesy. Constructive conflict is another C, the same thing, constructive criticism. So those are the 5 C's. I think anybody could figure out the 5 C's the first couple of dates real quick, you know, and if you don't understand how to figure out a constructive conflict, you know what I'm saying, just tell him his shoes scuffed up. His brand new joints, because I know he got them on. Tell her, babe, I really don't like this joint right here. That joint. Babe, I don't like that joint. Just say it off the top, and then you'll know if you can even deal with her. You know what I'm saying? Because she gonna give you everything she got right then. If she got this joint, you know what I'm saying? The one, you know, we don't really like it.
I call it squigglies.
The squigglies.
Around the forehead, baby hair, whatever they want to call it these days. I don't like it.
And ladies,
I don't care for it.
And ladies, overall things, because men aren't God, but God is in men. But guys on earth, they want loyalty. Now, what did you have, babe?
Oh, I was going to touch back on something you had said when you had given the forgiveness about, you know, forgive, you know, those things that, you know, you went through before coming into it. And you
got to forgive you.
And just to kind of, whether it's me or anything else, you don't want to have that extra baggage. Erykah Badu talk about bag lady. You know, we and I keep wanting to reference back to the biblical, but it was God made woman to only experience one man. That's why you're supposed to be a virgin when you get married. But since we have shied away from that, I mean, it's a reason why God did that. Because you can't want something you never had and you won't have that baggage going into it. But since we're in modern days and people have multiple partners, I mean, I got married again just a year ago. I have 2 children prior to him. So because of that, where we are now as a people, you don't want to carry that baggage or too much. I'm not going to say I didn't have no baggage, but you don't want it to be overwhelming to where I'm taking things out that he didn't even deserve or cause. And vice versa with a man and a woman. So I wanted to touch that because I thought that was really good, what you said with the forgiveness. Forgive yourself, move forward, try to grow. And then I also want to kind of go back because I think when I mentioned number 2, agree that divorce is not an option again. I'm not.
At what point do you feel like in a relationship because we talking about dating to marry. Mm-hmm. So if I'm dating to marry, when do I figure out that he wants to marry me or she's gonna say yes? I mean, so at what point would I would I apply what you talking about? After we're married?
No.
After we're engaged?
I think talking about the stuff that everything we
said.
No,
number 2.
Oh, number 2.
What you just touched on.
I think it need to be in the beginning. But I was going to go somewhere else with that. But yeah, I think in the beginning, when you're dating, when you first agreed that, hey, we're dating for marriage to be the outcome, which that should be established in the very beginning too. I personally wouldn't want years to go by and then we just now deciding, I think I want to get married, or we're going to know. I think that type of stuff, especially when you have hit past 30, which most women are, we're marrying at a very later age these days. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it matters for men because they can always marry as young as they want to, if depending on where they are in the relationship story. Go check that episode out. But yeah, I think women we're marrying a lot later, so you want to establish that in the beginning. Hey, what are we doing? That used to be the question. And when you ask those questions, you want to know if we're married, we're dating for marriage, and then if we're getting married, okay, what does marriage look like to you? Because for me, it looks like not a divorce. You know what I'm saying? I think that should be brought up in the beginning.
I agree. I just wanted to establish a time frame, because you know what I'm saying. I wanted to clarify.
But I wanted to also say, I'm not shaming anyone. You know what I'm saying? Your relationship with God is personal. God is a forgiving God. He's he's just a great God. So if you got married many times, whatever, that's between you and God. I can care less. All I'm saying is what it looked like to me. This is what I feel like he told me, and that's what I'm striving to do, in which I'm always striving to just be better and be all that he has called me to be. I just wanted to say that.
You got off. That's what Mook say. You got off pause. My bonus is to the guys would be deal with each woman according to that woman's understanding. All women don't have the same level of understanding and or maturity level. A lot of women just need to be upgraded and or updated and or up under something that's real. So try to deal with each woman according to that woman. You know what I'm saying? Don't deal with her just my baseline, and that's the only, you know what I mean?
Don't drag them along. But not only that, know what you can deal with. You know, like you name a lot of the things, and that's good, but you know, some people can't deal with upgrading, or some people can't deal with her level of knowledge, or you know, some understanding is here. So know what you can tolerate and don't play those games.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We can figure that out day one. Mm-hmm. Oh, she right here with it. I'm out of here instantly.
Right.
Yeah. That's all I got.
Me too.
Yeah, that's all I got.
So those are what I would say the key facts of a successful relationship. This is just speaking on our experience, our research of what we've spoken with other people who's been longer than we have, and then what's been working for us. Feel free to comment, let us know what you think, what we might have missed, what we could add to.
Thanks, guys. Hey, that's major.
It's major.